Hello, I'm Philip Stoten. I'm here at Electronica 2016. I'm joined by Juergen Thurner from Experts for Excellence. Juergen, great to see you again. Always a pleasure.
Good to see you, Philip.
So tell me a bit about what you're doing with this Experts for Excellence. I've got a sense that excellence and manufacturing excellence is coming back in fashion again, and that's really good.
Absolutely, that's the intention. That's what the name should transport, the message that we intend to be transported by the name. So what we have done, what I saw in the last couple of months, is that there is a need, especially in young companies, to get a smart advisory and consultancy how to run their business, especially when any kind of hardware development is involved. Typically young companies, startup companies, they have a great idea, they may have funding, but they don't know how to run a company, and they don't know how to develop a product, they don't know how a product is being manufactured, and they don't know the 1 million traps in which you can step when you do this thing.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now, and I found a really good partner, we have complementary skills to help that kind of companies to grow up in the right way, to do the right things at the right time. Very often these young companies, they do the right things, but they do the right things at the wrong time. And knowing about what is the right thing to do at the right time, that's what we offer in terms of help.
Okay.
My partner, Roberto Adicani, he has a background in the quality management side, lean manufacturing, comes from the automotive industry and also medical. And that is a very good complementary experience to my supply chain, and I would not call it anymore smart factory. I would call it, in a bigger term, the digital transfer in which we are currently. And this is a really, really big challenge, not only for companies but also for us as private persons. This challenge needs to be managed, and this is what I bring to the table.
Okay, that sounds really exciting. And when you talk about the startups and those innovators that you're engaging with, one of my favorite quotes from one of the startups I worked with that had gone to manufacturing in the US was, "We didn't know what we didn't know." So there are all these unknowns. They're the traps you talk about. Where do you engage with them? Are you talking to the incubators, those kind of accelerators and venture capitalists?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are different ways. So in the past, either I was approached by these people directly because they knew me. One case was one of my former students who started his own startup now, and he approached me and said, "Hey, can you help us on our hardware design and our hardware supply chain?" But the other way is working through incubators, working through venture capital. One example was I was engaged by NBW, which is the Baden-Württemberg energy provider, and they have what they call innovation campus. This is kind of corporate VC. And they brought me I gave a presentation on the Internet of Things and Industry 4.0, and through that one, it's like a network thing. Through that one, new opportunities pop up, and you just pick them. At the moment, it's running extremely well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an exciting opportunity, and I was just talking to a gentleman from one of the large French EMS companies, and they're engaged with a small number of startups. They have to be very selective, but he says it energizes the whole process.
Absolutely.
They're so full of energy, and they look at things differently. So they don't look at it with experience, they look at it with an open mind. So,
there is a reason why big companies invest in startups, because they want to find out the disruptive technologies that could potentially threaten their existing business, and they want to be the first to know from which direction the threat will come. And they want to control the threat, and that's why they invest in startups.
And it's that disrupt or be disrupted, isn't it? That's essential. Last question, you mentioned Industry 4.0. We saw a lot of it at Electronica. We saw some of it here last year. People aren't necessarily using the term this year, but they're definitely on that journey, and they're moving in the right direction. A lot of people are using connected and that digital thing as a term. How far do you think the manufacturing industry has actually got on that?
Interestingly, not far enough. The average is like below expectations as far as the digitalization of the industry is concerned. But it's a very complex thing, and it's a thing that has emotions, because people don't really understand what it's all about. They have an idea. In Germany, typically, people spend their time, when they think about smart factories, they spend their time talking about the interfaces and technical protocols between two machines. That's one aspect. But the bigger picture
Yeah.
is the more important.
Yeah.
What are the new business models that can be derived out of
Yeah.
the new possibilities that we have with connected factories, with
Yeah.
smart factories? And that's where a lot of people are really afraid of touching this thing because they don't really understand what's in there. This is also where we come in and help companies to assess where they stand, and then to develop together with the companies what's the next step. Where do we want to go, and if we want to go there, what's the next step to reach that goal?
And I think part of the challenge there is the story we've been told so far is just overwhelming.
Absolutely.
It's too big, too complex, too many parts. And you need to start to break it down to something
Absolutely,
manageable.
you have to deal with the thing on modules, if you will. So maybe first start on how to connect the machines, then start on communication interfaces, and then start on big data. How do I use big data to make smart decisions, to come to smart decisions? And those are different modules, and you have to do it one by one and step by step. Absolutely.
But Juergen, sounds like lots of exciting opportunities.
Absolutely, I'm really excited about the future.
That's great. Well, great to talk to you, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Phil.